Queen Mother Imakhu, I want to welcome you. We call it our success talk. And it really gives us a chance to talk about success, but even that side of success that most people don't get a chance to see, the backside of success, the challenges, the things that you have to go through to get where you want to be. And I could not think of a person who just exemplifies the ability to create, to encounter obstacles, to overcome those challenges, and to do great things. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, Herbert, thank you so much for having me, my wonderful friend. And I smile when I see the 12 Universal Laws of Success, the yellow book, because of the fact that I think of going into the bookstores and seeing that famous cover, and then when I had Akeru Radio back when it started in 2005, being ever so shocked to get the phone call from you because someone recommended to you to give me a call and said, "Hey, you need to be on this lady's station." And I was wow, just so shocked because I was honored because I was so familiar with the book. And yeah, and so then after interviewing you, from there we became friends. And your book has always been so inspirational to me. And whenever I've gotten stuck, I have pulled out the famous yellow book to help me get unstuck. And certainly I've attended your success workshops, and I still have the posters that you had us draw. And I still pull out the posters to see where I am on my success road. And if you have never attended a workshop of Herbert Harris's to get you on the success road, then you need to go and attend it. I'm going to tell you, you really do.
Wow, Imakhu, thank you so much. Well, you've been an inspiration to me, and maybe you can tell our listeners and tell the world a little about your background, because you have such a you've gone through so many transformations, but a little about your background, how Queen Mother Imakhu, where she started, and how she got where you are, kind of briefly, but that's such a journey and it's so exciting. Share a little about that.
Thank you, Herbert. Yeah, I've been in the business of art since I was 15 years old, and I've known that that's exactly what I wanted to do since the age of 14. And I had my first professional gig as an artist since the age of 15. And so I, like you, am a Renaissance person when it comes to not only the arts, but so many different aspects of life. But in the arts, I have been a singer, where I've been a lead vocalist, I've been a background vocalist, I've been a jingle singer, I've been a studio singer. I've been in choir. I've been in,
Yeah.
oh gosh, you name it. I've been a touring a theater performer. I've been a solo performer. I've been a musician, a studio musician, different aspects. I've been a performer, a professional dancer and choreographer. I've been a theater performer, director, producer. Gosh, again, you name it.
You name it.
Anything legit in this business, I have done.
See, I like it. So anything legit.
Legit, yes.
Legit. Yeah, I love that. So that makes a difference.
Yes, it does. And because of the fact that I've been passionate about my craft, I also have recognized that it's important to keep growing and changing, and being willing to learn as much as you can from the business aspect as well, so that way you can be self-sufficient. And also, the more that you learn and the more that you know, the more opportunities there are for you to eat,
Yes,
so
yes.
you're not a starving artist, okay?
Yeah.
And
So the more you learn, the more you earn.
that's right, yes.
Yeah.
It's surprising for people to know that I am a working artist, because a lot of people only know the spiritual side of me. And as I have gotten older, people have known me as Queen Mother Imakhu. I became an installed Queen Mother And the Queen Mother tradition started in ancient Africa, it did not start in Europe. But I became an installed Queen Mother in the Kemetic tradition in 2005. It's not what I wanted, to be very honest with you. I was still trying to get to Broadway, okay? And so people know me as the spiritual counselor, as a spiritual guide. They know me as a spiritual teacher. As I've gotten even older, they know me as a Kemetic yogini. I've been doing yoga since the age of 12, and eventually became a certified yoga instructor. Again, as you get, again, you learn and you open yourself up to changing, and that keeps you in the realm of being able to earn money there too. So, but also from an ethical standpoint, for myself as a spiritual person, I wanted to open myself up to changing and being able to share from that standpoint as well, because yoga has been a very important part of my life as far as being able to keep me calm and centered. At the age of 12, I recognized that it was something that kept me regulated. And so I passed that on to children. People, again, have known me as a musician and as an artist, but then also known me as a spiritual person. And so I've been able to meld the two together. So now, in this age of COVID, there's a great request for yoga classes and meditation, because people have become extremely stressed out, especially children, from spending so much time in front of the computer screen. And so I'm getting a lot of calls for people from people who want to hire me to come in and teach yoga, and I find that to be extremely satisfying and very brings me a lot of
Well, you've always been a great teacher, and you sort of put together a combination of technology, artistry, philosophy, religion, truth. And as you move through life, when I guess we all have some challenges, things that we want to overcome. And I guess having all those things together to help you overcome some of the challenges, was that helpful to have like you might say, a wide array of experiences as you face any particular challenge that you had?
Extremely. The more you know, then the bigger your toolkit becomes. As an artist who also has a multimedia company, it became a great passion of mine to be able to funnel all of that into storytelling and teaching through multimedia. Now, also, it was wonderful to be able to reach into my desire to reach out to the people who were important to me, or connect to the people who were important to me, and be able to share the wisdom keepers like yourself through multimedia. So it's extremely vital, especially in these times, because I feel that, all right, for example, we just came through COVID.
Yes.
We've lost so many vital voices because of COVID. And so being able to capture the wisdom of those of us who are still here for future generations is monumental. And I was just having this conversation the other day with some of the elder ministers who are here. I'm a member of the Newark Interfaith Clergy Alliance, and I'm the only person representing an African traditional religion in it. But we were talking about the fact that there are so many of us who remember the origins of things. And just like Herbert, your story is so vital, because the fact that you were such, my goodness, you had the guts to go after law in the way that you did. And then also the pioneering that you did in the music industry, and even the story that you told about how you decided to be a model. And I always remember how you talked about how you became a hand model. You know,
Uh-huh. Wow.
I remember that cigar box. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, uh,
Tiparillo.
Amarillo, yes.
Wow.
All these stories are worth capturing,
Mhm.
and they're inspiring. But these are moments in time that we need for future generations to hear.
Yes.
And so having a multimedia company, being able to share, just like right now, people are listening to my story and your story
Yes.
through video, but then
Yes.
also through audio
Yes.
and capturing imagery. This is absolutely necessary. And so by my having my 4K camera, and now it's 8K, and
Yes.
as the tools are advancing,
Yes.
all of this is so necessary. And
Yes.
so I find that I'm humbled to
Wow.
be a part of this.
Yes.
And as a writer, as a well, all the aspects of the
All the
business that I've been
aspects.
in,
Yeah.
all of it is coming together right
Together.
now. Yes.
Now, as you were sharing that, is there any one particular, I guess, obstacle that if you looked at it, you said this was your Goliath, that thing was like standing there keeping you from going where you wanted to go? And, if so, what was it? And then how did it impact you? And how did you overcome it?
I'm gonna tell you the biggest obstacle I had:
Uh-huh.
partnering with the wrong people.
Woo! Yes.
And
Yes.
you know why? Because I would partner with people who were beneath me.
Mm, preach.
You know, that sounds elitist, but that's the daggone truth.
Mm-hmm.
It was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this was a thing where, I don't care how it sounds, it's the truth.
Yes.
All right. And these were people who would guilt me into believing that I should feel sorry for them because they did not have the opportunities that I had, but that I worked for.
Yes.
That I worked for. Listen, these were my blood, sweat, and tears
Mm-hmm.
that I put into my career.
Mm-hmm.
I busted my butt for, okay? And so if I had opportunities handed to me, it was because of the work that I put in. So to come and try to guilt me into giving a leg up, and because you want a shortcut, and see, my mistake was letting people get in my head and make me feel as though I owed them something.
Ooh.
That was a mistake.
Yes.
That was a huge mistake, because then they would always take it and then stab me in the back. Okay.
Yes.
It was a waste, huge waste.
Yes.
So I'm trying to tell y'all, do not let anybody guilt you into trying to give somebody else a leg up after you have earned every bit of what you have gotten. Okay. Make them work for it just like you did.
Yes.
Now, there are times where if you may see that somebody needs help, but only after you see that they are earnestly putting in the work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I had people help me, but only because of the fact that they've seen something in me, and they've seen the earnest desire and the fact that I am working for it. Okay.
Yes.
These shortcuts, forget it. Okay.
Yes.
People who are lazy, people who do not understand the work ethic.
Yes.
No.
Don't partner with them. Imakhu, one of my teachers used to say, save everybody who will swim out to the boat.
There you go. There you go.
He said, don't take your boat over to the shore to pick up people who are afraid to come in the water, because at the very best, you're going to run aground and probably sink your ship.
That's right. That's the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth. Because then here you go, because then they'll go and steal the boat and throw you
overboard. Ain't that something? Take your boat and use it for firewood. Now, how do you get through that though? What's the realization that takes you through that? Because I know as you were sharing it, I could hear minds so many people, it's happened to me, but I can hear so many people out there in the world says, you know what? I know where she's coming from. I've been there. I felt that. How do you get through that?
It's a tough lesson because it starts from your being soft-hearted and sincere. Okay, you're coming from a good place, but then you realize that this person was not. Okay, they just saw you as a tool. So this is where it's important to have your circle around you of people who are going to be looking out for you, where you look out for each other, okay? Where you're able to recognize, no, this person doesn't belong here, all right? If you've got a tight circle, then you're gonna watch out for each other. You're gonna see if you're gonna have somebody who's gonna pull you under, because if they pull you under, they're gonna pull everybody else under too.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
So you need to have people who are worthy of being there. Okay. Now, occasionally you're going to need, okay. Now, in the Kemetic tradition, the ancient Egyptian tradition, you know, Kemet was the original name of ancient Egypt, the land of the black. Okay. But there is a guardian who is named Hatmeyit. And she is the oldest deity, if you will, who wore the fish crown. She predates Yamaja. Now, she represents community. Now, listen, in a school of fish, if you watch how fish swim in a school, you'll have a leader. But check this out. Eventually, the leader will drop back and another one will come forward, okay? And they take turns.
Yes.
So one will eventually watch from the back, okay? But they take turns. They work together as a community. The idea is that they are guiding off of each other's energy. They watch out for each other, all right? And they're not trying to let somebody else in, some foreign influence in, because they are a tight unit and they're looking out for each other. Ideally, that's how it should be if you're trying to be successful, okay? You need to have that tight-knit school of fish where you key off of each other's energy. You're all watching out for each other, and you're not trying to let some barracuda break in.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You need to make sure that you're all watching out for each other. Somebody gets a little tired of being up in front, then somebody who's ready. You're not going to let some weakling come and lead you, okay?
Yes.
You're going to have somebody who's appropriate now come in and lead and guide, all right? Somebody from the rear who's watching. Everybody's got their position. Everybody's got the role, all right? And you're all traveling together so that you're all going to make it. Now, here's the interesting thing about Hatmeyit too. Hat, the front part of her name, means to lead. It also means the heart and the head, okay? Mehit means fish, okay? Like a school of fish, but it also means abundance, okay? So if you're all working together from the heart and the head, working together, not being overly emotional, not being too rational, both working together, all right? Then you will all come to the place of abundance together. All right.
So now, when you use that concept, that really stresses the importance of having a school around you, having friends, having that sphere of people, that community.
Right.
So it's like collective economics, collective consciousness, collective care, collective concern. Yes.
Now, let me tell you something. See, now I am one of the few Kemetic teachers, and I truthfully, I don't flow with a lot of the folks that are out there. I don't. Okay. And I'm our temple, which is rebuilding right now, only because of the fact that I'm very particular about who's around me. I am. All right. We're a Kemetic water temple, and I go from the ancient Kemetic scriptures, which teach abundance.
Yes.
They teach abundance. They talk about the importance of establishing your household and your abundance. And the oldest scripture says to get your life together. All right, get your life together and be responsible for your own life outside, less an outside authority does it for you. Okay,
Yes.
be
Yes.
responsible for your own life.
Yes.
Then get a job in your chosen profession, build your abundance, get
Yes.
a partner, get a mate. All right, and then have your family, and then establish your wealth. Believe it or not, this is old teaching. All right,
Yes.
yeah, you don't hear all this stuff, and you should.
Yes.
This is common sense,
Yes.
common sense stuff. And then it even talks about the importance of having your burial plans together. Okay,
Yes.
this is
It's
all
a blueprint.
stuff. It's a blueprint.
It's a blueprint. Yeah.
This is from the book, the oldest book, the Book of Prince Harjada. It's a short book, but it's a very basic blueprint.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't talk about dying in poverty. It basically is telling you, get yourself together, get your money together, get your family together, get your get a plan together so that you have family abundance, and so that you will live a good life. Okay.
Now, how do you use that now to make that breakthrough? Because I know that so many folks may be trapped in that, almost like in that prison. How did you overcome that to move to where you are now?
Yeah, well, see, that's the whole thing. Because I also had to start over. I really did. Because these last 2 years, COVID. All right, my mother died on Easter Sunday during COVID. All right, and then my marriage broke up. Thank you. And
hallelujah.
thank you. Thank you. Okay. And because I was on this other whole trajectory and let myself get pulled this other direction. All right. And went through this whole head thing. And I was living in this house that was literally toxic. Okay. And just moved. And I had to ask myself, after, I went to therapy. Okay. I got in some deep therapy, still in therapy. If y'all need to listen, you got to start over. You got to go talk to somebody. Make sure you get yourself a good therapist. Okay.
Yes.
And I had to really focus on what worked for me to get myself back on track. I had to ask myself, Queen Mother, the best points of your life, what was working?
Yes.
So I had to backtrack. Okay. With these highs, who were you around? What was going on? Where are these people now? What's going on with their lives? Okay. Especially after COVID. Okay. Who's still alive?
Yes.
Some people were gone. And see, that gets a light under you too.
Yes.
Okay. You don't want to be next.
Yeah.
All right. You have an urgency then. All right. So I reached back to my fellow success people. Thankfully, some were still there. I connected with them. One in particular, she was like, girl, let me pull you back into the circle. Where you been? Where you been? Come on, girl. Come on, So she pulled me in and connected me with this one and this one and this one, and right back. I was back in the saddle, okay? And you know what? I had to talk with Felipe Luciano during the time when I was like sick, when the house I was in was making me sick. There was toxic stuff going on. Felipe Luciano, who had just come through some major surgery, and he was like, Imakhu, because he's like you. My close friends call me Imakhu, okay? So, Imakhu, be with the people who celebrate you.
Drop the mic. Oh, yeah.
That woke me right up. I was like, I got to get back with the people who know what I do, who love me, and who remind me of my worth. And Abiodun Oyewolo said, well, the same thing. He was like, come on, Imakhu, come on, you're a queen mother, come on. Come on, we're Pisces, come on. You know who you are. Come on back to life. Come on, because I was in such a low place. I'm on the phone, I'm just like, he was like, come on back, girl. Come on.
Yes.
So, yes. And it was ringing in my head what Felipe said. Be with the people who celebrate you. Be with the people who celebrate you. Be with the people who celebrate you. So I had to listen. Every once in a while you got a clean house, and I just had to rub. It was just like, okay, listen. The past few years, just a bad dream. Come on,
Yes.
Get back on the good dream. Get back on the good dream, on the good stuff, the good reality, never the bad dream. Get back on the good reality. All
Yes.
the good stuff that was happening, all the good. And so pieces started coming back together. Back
Wow.
together. And here's the thing I always tell people, remember all the successes. Remember what it felt like, but also remember all the practical things that got you there. Okay. And see, this is the thing that people know about me, because I've done so many workshops for a lot of the people, for a lot of the young artists about, minding your money, remembering how to conduct yourself as a business person, all right? Because it used to be known, don't mess with Queen Mother's money. Okay.
All right.
Don't mess with my contracts. Don't follow through. If you don't, don't mess up with me if you don't follow through. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So I had to get back into that business mode because I had become too passive.
Yes.
That's the thing. I'd become too passive, but then I had to remember, that's not you. That's not you, Imakhu.
Yes.
That's who people want you to be. They want you to be this airy fairy pet. That's not you.
Yes.
I'm a fighter. Okay.
Yes.
I'm a businesswoman. Okay. I'm spiritual, but I'm a spiritual warrior. And yes, I do yoga and all that, but I teach people how to fight for themselves. Okay. All
Yes.
right. So, and when I'm on stage, look out. All right.
Yes.
I'm a hellified performer. All
Wow.
right. And so I had to get back into that whole mode of who I am.
You have
like, don't let that past mistake of the past few years.
Yes.
Don't let that take you down. Come on.
Yes. Yes. Imakhu, as you were talking, I was just fingering through some sections in the book that apply, and I know there was one thing that says, you said very powerfully, when you start to reflect on who you are, that to look at those your victories in the past.
Yes.
Look at the things that you were able to accomplish in the past, and those are the kind of things that will take care of you. When you look at the things that you could accomplish in the past, that gives you another frame of reference. So whatever's going on around you, you can get through it because you say, you know what? I don't belong here because this is where I come from. I come from a great heritage. I come from a great a people.
Yes.
And I was looking how to develop the habit of persistence, and it says have a friendly alliance with one or more people who encourage you.
That's right. That's right.
Follow through to follow through on your dreams.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. And so as you're telling the story, I think this is something so many people need to hear, the idea to have that alliance, to have somebody you can go to. Don't let somebody pull you off. A lot of times when people are not good for you, one of the signs is they try to isolate you.
Yep.
They try to pull you away from the people that you care about and the people who care about you.
I did not realize how many people had stopped talking to me because of the fact that I was being isolated.
Yes. Yes.
And people were afraid. I did not realize. It wasn't until this individual was gone that all of a sudden people started coming back into my life. Even my neighbors upstairs were afraid to talk to me. All of a sudden now they were talking to me.
Yes. Well, Imakhu, as you were talking, I'm just going through the book. It's like there's so many little pieces. There's a passage that birds of a feather flock together. But if you have the wrong people around you, the good people stay away. Now, if you're surrounded, and I think one of the measuring rods, if your good friends stay away from you, if you don't hear from them like you used to, that's a sign that you're going in toward a bad place.
That's right. Because this individual was saying had all kinds of bad things to say about all the good people in my life. And I'm like,
Woo. Yes, Lord.
Right. Yet and
You-
still, you know, before the individual left, admit to me to stalking to get into my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't have it both ways, you know?
Well, now you just touched on something, and especially women, especially talented, especially professional women, women who have, who have things to offer to the world, whether it's a singer, whatever it is. I mean, you don't have to have a degree, but whatever your talent is, as your light shines. I'm in the country, and when you turn, you can walk up to the porch, and the porch just looks like a porch. But if you turn on the porch light, all of a sudden, gnats and mosquitoes and bugs all show up. It's like, where were they all along? And so I think that's one of those natural lessons, that as your light is shining, if you're attracting a lot of people who are trying to haunt you and stalk you and track you down, that's a sign to you that your light is shining bright. That's a sign to you that your value is so much more, often more than you thought it was. That the world saw you even bigger than you saw yourself. Oh,
That's true.
wow.
I'll
So
tell you, I used to take out every once in a while. I would come across I have two of the sketches that you had us do in two of the workshops that I attended that you did.
yes,
And because I meant to have them here so I could show them, but I would take them out and I would look at them, and I remember I was thinking, I'm so far and away from where I was. I'm not supposed to be here.
yes.
I'm not supposed to be here, you know?
Well, Imakhu, that is so powerful. In our workshops, for those listening, in our workshops, one of our exercises is draw your dreams. A lot of the visualization, they say, like, cut out the pictures, and but I say draw your dreams, because what you draw is what's coming from you.
Mhm.
A lot of times we've done these dream building workshops where people cut out pictures of other people's houses and of other people's cars. But when you draw your dream, that's you. That's you speaking to you. And I'm just so thankful that was one of a part of the changing of your frame of reference. I think that's what it is, to change your frame of reference back to where it was. Someone said, when you're lost, the first thing to do is to go back to the last time you knew where you were. And then look at that, and now reconstruct your life, like build it backwards now. But this is where I was, this is where I want to be, this is where I said I would be. One of our students, Dr. J, down in the islands, and she'd taken our workshop about 5 years ago, over 5, and she had drawn out her 5-year plan. And she said, I think, like all of us, had been through different changes, but now 5 years later, she called me. She said, Dr. Harris, I think everything I put on my 5-year plan has been realized, and it's now time to update and go in for the next 5 years. I've moved now to this certain point. The beauty of doing that is that now that you've accomplished those things, it changes your vibration, your level of consciousness. So now, I haven't seen you so animated and radiating such energy, such love, such clarity in a long time. So this next level is going to be incredible.
I'm ready. Listen, I'm ready. And, let me just also explain about the fact that the house I was in was making me sick. I had raw sewage that was underneath me that had exploded 3 times. And then the first time I was like unaware. I slowly became aware, and then the second time I was aware, and the landlord did something about it right away. The third time, the property manager had the nerve to say in writing, this is not a priority. We'll get around to it. What? For over a month, I had this raw sewage underneath me. And because I was on the first floor, I had the entire first floor in the house. And it was a central air situation. So I had vents in every single room in my house. And I'm breathing all this toxicity. And I had to send pictures to my local councilman who was like, oh, heck no, and
Yeah.
who sent code enforcement out.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I also found out that I had a carbon monoxide leak that had been going on for months.
Wow.
And yeah, and on top of that, the furnace had never been um serviced the
Yes.
entire time I was living there in that house.
Wow.
So as the technician who had come out to cut the furnace off, when he discovered it, and he told me, it's a miracle you're alive, ma'am.
Wow.
And he also explained to me, because he saw that there were carbon monoxide chunks inside of the furnace, even
Yes.
after they cleaned up the raw sewage. But he told me, he said, you got to get out of here. He
Yes.
said, you've been breathing in the same air since
Yes.
you did in 2017.
Yes.
And he said, on top of that, even though they cleaned up the raw sewage, you're still breathing in the remnants of the raw sewage and the
Wow.
carbon dioxide chunks that are in here.
Yes.
And plus they had all this this crazy chemical stuff that they used to clean the raw sewage, and it
Yes.
was not even. So he said, you're breathing all of this, and he said, if you have lung issues on top of that, he said, you
Wow.
got to get out of here.
Wow.
So, and since I've moved, I can see a night and day
Different.
difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
now, yeah, that is such a health hazard that can change your whole space. Let's see, we're kind of getting down toward the end. I had a couple thoughts. You seem so self-assured. Has there ever been a period or a situation where you doubted yourself, where you weren't sure about what to do, where to go?
I would say, this last year has been rough.
Yes.
I think I know that the health situation that I came from
Yeah.
made it that way, and then also because of the last 2 years have made it that way. Okay.
Yes.
And I had to really get myself back on track. That's why I had to do the backtracking and revisit all of my successes to remind myself, and I have one of my spiritual students who's been working on my CV, used to be a resume, now it's your CV,
Yes.
and she said, Queen Mother, you've done a lot. And I mean, and after that, I started remembering things that I did that I forgot that I did. I've
Yes.
had quite a career.
Yes. Yes.
And I've been blessed with all the things that I have done. And that helped me to regain a lot of the confidence that I had lost because of the fact that, also what it's like when you've had people just steal your ideas. You've had people, come in the guise of wanting to help you and then have stolen your stuff, stolen your contacts, and then, you get older and, so you kind of start to lose a little of your footing.
Your
And
confidence. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so you got to reassert yourself. And you find that really you have a new level of confidence because of your age and because of all the things that you've done. And that's one thing that young people cannot have. They don't have, because the fact that you have a vast career that they can't catch. They will never catch up to you because you've walked these miles. Yes. And they have this, you have this experience that they have not had. And so because of that, you can feel proud and assured. And many will come to you for advice because they know that they have not walked yet in your moccasins.
Wow. Wow. So I guess I'll sort of close out today. You've used the book in your teaching and it's been a resource for you in your life. Is there any particular way that it has helped you as you move from the points through all the good things, the bad things, but is the book anything particular that it helped you get through?
Oh, yes. Because of the fact that I came from a business family, and you know that there's I guess you have to come from a business family and a business head,
Mhm.
and be with other business people to be able to understand that, you
Mhm.
know, I mean, um, to be able to just automatically go into business conversations. I mean,
Mhm.
I love that when you and I get on the phone, we're able to
Mhm.
just automatically start talking business. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Other people, they
Mhm.
don't get that, you know.
Mhm.
Your book automatically brings me to a place of uh, talking about reassurance, brings me to a place of reassurance, remembrance. It's a guidepost, and it's one of my absolute favorites. Um, Along with there's a Martha Stewart book, The Martha Rules,
Mhm.
and then also like the Carnegie books, and then
Yes.
also oh what's the all-time favorite?
Think and Grow Rich.
There you go, Think and Grow Rich. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes,
Yeah. Wow. Well,
yes. And so
yeah.
it's a go-to.
Yeah.
It's and also um I put it up there along with the seven universal laws, the Kabbalion.
Yes.
So yes,
Mhm.
so I
Wow.
have that side by side. So the Kabbalion is the more spiritual aspect. This is the business
I got
aspect
you.
of it.
Beautiful. So now, what's the next chapter for Queen Mother Imakhu? What is the vision now that you see yourself moving through? And let me just say this: a lot of what you shared today, when we listen back, and I know when people listen to it, you have dropped so many nuggets. You know, the nugget of uh, permitting people to come around you who don't honor you, the nugget of how you focus on the good people to help bring you out of it, why you need to have good people around you, the nugget of being around people who celebrate you. And so now coming through this, you remind me the difference between a piece of coal and a diamond is pressure. And so these last years, as you say, these last 2 years have been like a pressure year, but to create a new diamond. And what do you see as the new diamond for Queen Mother Imakhu?
Well, first of all, I am unapologetic about having diamond friends like you, and absolutely. And um, I've made it very clear about only being around diamonds and have no shame about that. And um, I am taking private students as far as the yoga practice is concerned, and having a small group, um, but also doing more writing. And I am also celebrating life.
Yes.
And just like Felipe said, I am being with people who celebrate me and
Wow.
encouraging people to celebrate life and find the joy, and also focus on healing the wounds, because you don't want to stay in those wounds. Focus on raising your vibrations so that you stay in the best place. Do not compromise yourself, and you want to keep on reaching higher. Reach higher and
Woo.
want more for yourself, so that you don't cheat yourself. Do not rob yourself. Want best for yourself.
Woo. Now that's a drop the mic thing. Queen Mother, I have to just thank you so much. We have enjoyed this. I think a lot of people are going to be healed by this. And your message, as we listen back, there's something you need to write about this whole transformation period. And we'll talk about that later. But I want to just thank you for being here. Thank you for your wise words. And those who are watching, check out Queen Mother. She is the one. What is your website, my dear?
It is Imakhu, IMAKHU.info.
Imakhu.info. And we'll post it along with the video, etc. But thank you so much for being with us. The world, thank you for this jewel. Those who are listening, thank you for being here. We could feel your vibrations right through the machines. All right, my dear, take care, be blessed, and always know that the best is yet to come. And so it is.
Thank you.